everyone. Yeah, so I'm going to hand it over to Shreyas to please share his screen. And I'm going to paste the links that you can use for setting up yours. So Shreyas, I have two links that I picked up which show the installation of WSL, and I posted that.
Yeah.
You can just like share which of these is the best way, what is the Windows version that you're using, and how are you going about doing this?
Okay. So like my screen is visible, right?
Yes,
And I'm audible.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
audible and
great.
your screen is visible. Let's go.
So I'm using a Windows 11 OS. So I'll be actually whoever has Windows 11 OS, it's like Microsoft people made it very simple in order to install WSL. So like should I just directly go forward with the demo?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay.
So WSL2 is would be better. So does this automatically install WSL2, this
Yes,
command? Okay,
that's
great.
what actually was written in the documentation.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Actually, WSL1, I guess it's depreciated already.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
there are instances where WSL1 gets a default installed. Might be some bug, but
Okay.
you can just upgrade the version, or else there might be some errors.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, I was just looking into a few docs before this, and like everything actually told me to just use this one command.
Yeah, you can use that in the PowerShell.
Yeah, maybe Shreyas, what you can do is you can set this, use this command and
Yeah.
let's see what version it installs, whether 1 or 2.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
if it is 1, then we try to also upgrade to 2. So that's also captured in the record.
Yeah. Cool. So before, in order to install WSL, you have to run your PowerShell or Windows Terminal admin mode. Okay. Just press like.
Okay, so you just type CMD on the search bar and this will come up, right?
Yeah. Actually, you have to type CMD, right click on it, and then it'll show run as administrator.
Okay, great.
You have to run always
It's
the
two
administrator.
dashes, WSL and two hyphens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to note this down as steps as well on the Notion
Yeah.
for those who are interested in installing. And those who are on the call, since you're anyways making time for the session, please try to install it right away so you don't have to do it later. And if you have any questions, you can post in the chat if you run into some errors or something. So we can try to, get it.
Oh, just a second. It shows installed.
Okay. Oh, that was quick. I thought it's going to take 30 minutes. Okay. How do we check whether it's like WSL1 or 2?
Just type WSL underscore like dash version, I guess.
Okay.
WSL.exe.
No, it still doesn't give out. Oh, invalid command line option.
Okay.
You can see like something V is also there. Yeah, V is there.
Yeah, it says WSL minus L minus V.
I mean, like this.
Space.
Space in between.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, you have to insert distribution.
Okay. So I think next step is to install the
Distribution.
Yeah.
So
Better would be you can go to like Microsoft store, and over there you can install whichever version you want. It has Ubuntu in it.
I can like I'll just show everyone like how it's done in command line. Later I can actually go to the Microsoft store. So the thing is, when you press WSL dash dash list dash dash online. It will show you the distro that you can use, like Ubuntu, Debian, Kali Linux. Okay. So maybe let's go with Debian for now.
Yeah, what is the best isn't the best suggested Ubuntu? No, I don't
No,
know.
it's Ubuntu. Like
Ubuntu.
Debian just has a better what do you call, like GUI.
Okay.
I mean, I'm using Ubuntu, so I'll prefer Ubuntu over anything
Okay, cool. Let's go
because
with the
they have something called a Snap Store, which others
yeah
don't
Snap
provide.
Store. So it starts downloading Ubuntu. Then we can check the version of Ubuntu it's installing.
So this installs which version? Maybe the latest or by default, the 20.04 LTS.
I guess like we have to check that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's for us to check.
It's gonna take some time.
Okay.
And after this, have to restart.
Oh, I see. Okay. So while you're restarting, maybe I will do this command line crash course very quickly.
Sure.
Okay.
I just have one question. So, as I'm already there on my Ubuntu system, would I be needing anything from the support of Windows, or is Ubuntu fine for like the entire cohort?
I think Ubuntu should be fine. So
Yeah,
my
Ubuntu is
idea
fine.
is to just, yeah, better to get like, basically my idea is to somehow get you folks to the terminal, because when you go to like Hard Hat and Foundry stuff, you want to install like npm based packages, yarn based packages, and Forge uses its own packages. So the idea is to install WSL2, hopefully launch WSL2 from VS Code, and then be able to install Forge. That is during this session. So I think this will ensure that we are going through all the problems possible and try to find solutions for that. So yeah, I think short answer is Ubuntu should be good. Okay.
Okay, I'll have to restart my computer now.
Okay.
So the thing is, once it restarts,
Mhm.
I can't open anything. There'll be a terminal open. It'll start installing the packages. Only after that, let me do anything on my system.
Okay, I see. Okay, cool. So that part we can't see because you will be restarting, right? But
Yeah,
okay, I'm making a note of that.
yeah. So once it launches, I mean, once my system restarts, it'll directly install the packages,
Okay,
and a Ubuntu terminal will pop up. After that, I can join back to the meeting and show you guys the terminal.
I see. So the Ubuntu terminal pops up on your Windows system only, right? Like,
Yes, just like the PowerShell.
okay, okay. So terminal automatically pops up, or do you have to write any command? Okay, we'll see that
No,
once you
Yeah,
restart.
it's showing the terminal is popped us and press any key to continue Ubuntu. So
Okay, cool. Okay.
no,
Okay.
yeah, there'll be some error because you have to restart it.
Okay, okay, go ahead. Okay, so you go ahead and restart. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
I'll just show some terminal commands that are required to.
cool, cool.
Okay.
we don't need to restart, right?
No, if you have installed it right now, then I guess you two have to restart.
Yeah, I think everyone has to restart. Yeah, Rohit also says that his system is asking for a reboot. So I think we should restart. I mean, everyone should restart.
Cool, guys. So whoever actually installed right now, just restart your app PC once.
Yes, yeah. I mean, whoever's restarting, you can rejoin. That's not a problem. I will just get you in. Okay. So for those of you who are planning to watch a recording and install this later, I'm going to quickly also show this CLI crash course. The thing is, I want to do the CLI crash course when everybody has Linux. I mean, everybody has access to terminal, but that should be okay. I'm also going to send you this PDF later, so don't worry. This is just a list of commands that it would be good for you to practice on the CLI. CLI is your command line interface, which is what you will be using for doing advanced programming of for any language for that matter. And also, as you get into week 4, there'll be a lot of things where you will need to kind of work with a CLI. So I'm going to run, this is going to be like a very, very basic like introduction to CLI kind of course. Yeah, where I'm just going to talk about different important commands that are going to be useful. These commands are largely the same for Linux and Mac OS. As you can see, I have a Mac OS, so some things might be different than others. But yeah, so the shell, the name of the shell that I'm using is called bash. You have different types of shell. There is zsh, and there are different things you can read about that. However, if you have either Ubuntu or um, Mac OS, I will suggest to use bash. It is one of the most sort of easier things to work with, at least personally for me, and even for beginners. So we are going to run through some of these commands and see what this means, right? The first command is pwd, and this means print working directory. What this shows you is that which directory are you in, right? So right now I am in slash users slash gyan, which is my home directory. A lot of times you will be in slash home or something like that, based on which operating system you are on and where you are at, right? This is a command.
Sorry to interrupt, Yana. Maybe this is in the Windows. It will be CMD, right?
Yeah,
CLI.
but ideally you would want to use your WSL now that you have installed WSL, because
Okay.
Windows commands can be very like very tricky to work with. And
Okay.
also because this is going to be generic for you across Linux and Mac OS. That was
Okay.
the reason why I wanted people to install WSL in the first place. So
So,
you don't have to learn the
how
parallel.
do we launch the WSL? Is just my question. Is the same command prompt or
Yeah, I think for that we'll have to wait for Shreyas, because I
cool,
don't
cool.
have Windows. I don't know whether it requires a putty or something or what, but I think it should be straightforward. So
No problem.
yeah.
Thanks.
So once you have your WSL and you have your terminal open, these are the commands that will run both on your Ubuntu and your Mac OS. And some of these common commands you'll be using like day in and day out. So PWD is like print your working directory. Where are you at? If you want to, move here and there. I wanna say that host name, but we don't really use it much. Mine is called, MacBook Air.local. Not something that I would use frequently. If you want to create a new directory, you can use mkdir, that is make directory, right? And then give the name of the directory. So I'm just going to say like solidity bootcamp cohort 2 session 1, right? Some random name. And now the next command that logically makes sense, like what are the directories that are there at this level? There are a bunch of things that I have in this particular under this directory. So this is called ls, which lists the directory, like what and all is there. It not only lists the directories but also the files, right? So you can see that I have a txt file. I have, I don't know, like a lot of idea or whatever projects, philippines.txt. Hopefully it's some holiday plan that I can take eventually. And then there's also this directory that I created just now, right, that I can see. So ls is again pwd, ls, these are things you will be using day in and day out. If you want to make a new directory, you will use mkdir. And the next thing that I want to do is cd, right? It's called change directory. If you type cd just simply, it's going to take you to your home directory, right? That is here. Now if you want to get inside another directory, that is you want to change, right? So you have to type cd and then name of the directory. So I created something called solidity bootcamp cohort 2, I think session 1. So here I'm getting into a directory. You can't use cd to open a file, because you can only go inside a directory, not a file, right? So here you are going inside a directory. And again, if you want to explore what is there inside this directory, you can type ls, that is list what is there. This doesn't have anything, so you are saying like this is blank, right? Now, same cd command can be used also to get out of this directory. So you just want to get one step out of this directory, you'll put 2 dots and a slash. So you're out of this directory now. You're back again to user scan. If you want to go 2 steps out of this, then you will type 2 dots and slash and so on, right? So you can move between directories using the cd command. Other things like the push pop and all, you are very less likely to use. However, you're likely to use cp or mv, which is copy or move. So let's say I have this random like file called, okay, let's say Sophia address. Okay. So I can copy this file, right, to the new directory that I created. So I'm going to say cp Sophia address and then name of the new directory, right? One more thing in Mac, and I think this is similar on WSL as well. I'll wait for somebody to confirm. Is that when you start typing the letters of the directory and you click on tab, it automatically gives you that directory completion. So auto completion is available on Mac as well. So you can copy this within this directory, right? Now, once we have copied, this already exists, right? I mean, this still exists. That means we have just made a copy. Let's go inside this and see if a copy has been made. Yes, right? However, if you want to completely move the file from one place to another, what you can do is, okay, let me create another directory, show you session 1 alternate. Okay. Okay, so this doesn't have anything. I'm going to come out, right? I'm at this. Now I'm going to move this Sophia into the alternate directory that I created, right? So now when I did ls, I see that that file is gone because it has been moved to the alternate directory, right? So these are commands that you are likely to use: the copy, the move, right? And then there are ways to create a new file, which you are again likely to use. Okay, before that, let's look at deletion. Okay, you can use the command rm remove to remove a file. Okay, like this. Now, if you want to remove a directory, okay, so it says you have to it's a directory. Okay, so let's figure out what is the way to do this. Okay, so now with the rm, with every command, now with this I want to introduce something called flags. Okay, you will read about this a lot when you are dealing with command line. With every command on the command line that you're using, you can find associated flags that will make that command behave differently, right? Or basically these flags add more functionality to these commands. Okay, so now -r is a flag that is used to remove directories. It actually means to remove recurring stuff, right? So if you have directories inside directories inside directories and you want to remove everything in one shot, you can use -r. There is also another flag called f, that stands for force. So if you want to remove these directories by force, irrespective of whatever permissions they have, you generally tend to use 2 flags, that is r and f put together with a hyphen, right? So let me see. Hmm, okay, I think man works on Linux. So maybe once the WSL is installed, we can see. I don't know. Help. Oops. Yeah. Help works. However, don't know if it is hyphen help. Okay. Okay. Uh, let's see. No. Okay. Never mind. I will find this out. It's been a long time since I needed help on command line. But you can see that with this, the usage of every command is present with the help, right? If you want to take help, you can do that to understand how to use this particular command. So you can see that what are the different flags. You have -f, you have -I, you have different flags like D, I, P, R, or capital P and R, I. There's a small r that I just used, small v, capital W, X, and then the name of the file, right? And then you can also unlink and things like that. So you can read more about commands that you are more interested in. However, for now, it is just enough to understand like that these are the basic commands that you would be using. You may want to go deeper into find and grep, where you are going to find different files. But at this point in time, if you're a beginner, I don't think it is required. One of the commands that you may use eventually is called chmod. So chmod is a command that is used to change permissions, right? I will share more about how chmod works and what do the different permission flags mean. But where would you use this? In what circumstances? When you are downloading or when you are cloning something from GitHub, right? So git clone will be the command line command for that. And you say something like, https GitHub or blah blah blah, some repo, right? We are asking you to clone something from GitHub. What might happen is sometimes the permission in these repositories might be different. So at that point in time, you may want to use a chmod command to change the permission of a particular file or of a particular directory altogether. Now, how do you, okay, let's see what are the files over here. Maybe I will take a look at this CLI Crash. Okay, so I'll see ls. So ls again has some flags associated with it. The -la flags helps me understand what are the permissions that this file has. So you can see that there are different types of permissions. There is read permission, there is write permission, and then there is read. So you will find that there are different types of users who have permissions to do different things. One set of users has a permission to read and write. Other two sets of users have the permission to only read this file, right? So I can change the permission of this particular file by maybe allowing all users to write, maybe allowing all users to edit, or maybe making it only read only for all users, right? So depending on what you want to do with this file, especially when you are trying to run something like you want to give access to a particular file through a solidity smart contract or something like that, or when you are building full-fledged dapps, then you may want to change permissions of certain files so that you can read from there, you can write to that file, etc. So depending on your use case, you can use the chmod command. Okay, all right. I think okay. So Shreyas says that after WSL hyphen install, we need to enable virtualization, which he will show, and we actually need to install the MSI. Okay, you are back. I see.
Yeah. So the thing is, we actually had to even enable virtualization, which I thought my Windows 11 would do it. I thought like that was written in docs, but apparently my PC didn't do it.
Okay.
So I'll show you. I'll also show you how to enable the virtual machine platform on your PC. And after that, I'll send the MSI link, which will update the kernel component, which is required for WSL2.
Okay.
So these are the two things that you have to do just once in your lifetime. Okay.
Okay, cool. So, are you sending the MSI link now, or wait? So this virtualization has to be enabled on your Windows machine where you're installing WSL. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So are you showing that now?
Yeah. 1 second. I'll just put up the MSI link and I'll show that.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. I have gone through most of the commands that you would require. to go through the just to get the basics. One more command that people generally use a lot is to peep into a file. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new file. Okay, I use the command vi is a popular command line editor. It's not popular actually. It is for oldies like me who have been using vi forever, but it's an easy command editor and it almost always comes installed with terminal. So I'm going to say something like, okay, gyan.txt. This is the most fun editor ever. Okay, it's not, it's a lie, but anyways, so if you want to see the contents of this file, you can use the cat command, right? That is, you can print the whole file. So you can give the name of the file and it shows like what exists in this file. So this is also something that you may want to use sometimes to see how the files look like. You can also use, there are some other commands like less. You can I think use tail as well if you have a long file and you want to see the end of the file. But these are not something that we use that frequently, right? So this is this. And yeah, so this is mostly like my quick crash course. I'm going to stop screen sharing and let Shreyas take over. So Shreyas has shared the link for the MSI. If you're watching this recording, what I'm going to do is also I'll be sharing all of these steps on the Notion doc of week 0 along with this recording. So you have a clear idea of like what you're supposed to do. Shreyas, I have stopped screen sharing. So if you want, please go ahead and share your screen. I assume you have joined through the other laptop, is it? Or your same one after restarting?
Oh, it's the same one, but I just logged out. So could you make me the admin again?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad. Yeah,
One
I
quick
just
question.
did.
Actually, this is like a 6-week course, right? And like, how is the timeline? And is it for beginners or what is the?
So the Solidity program is for beginners. There are going to be 4 weeks of learning and 2 weeks of project. Week 0, that is this week, is like a buffer week where we are teaching you about Web3, helping you get installed and stuff like that. Basically, this is like the week where you're getting ready. Okay. And this week you also have an optional basics of programming quiz, which we encourage everybody to take up. So if you are not familiar with certain programming concepts, if you can quickly ramp through that, that would be great before you start your before you start your Solidity course. The Solidity course starts on 7th of November. So there'll be an orientation session for the course itself on 7th of November, where you will understand what is the curriculum, how are you supposed to go through this curriculum to make the most out of it. And then there are 2 weeks where you will be working with your cohort mates to build a successful final project.
Okay, yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
that.
sure, no problem. Yeah, Shreyas, please.
Yeah. So just go to your start and press Windows features. Okay. You'll get something called turn Windows features on or off. And you'll just get this small box where just scroll down and you'll find this virtual machine platform. Enable that. All right. And then just click OK. And after doing this, install the MSI package. And after you install the MSI package, it'll automatically, take you through the process. It'll just take some 5 to 6 seconds. Then it'll ask you for a restart.
So you have to tick it on the virtual machine or off?
On. The virtual machine should be on. Only then your, your system can run both the Linux as well as your Windows.
Okay, because I think I previously installed it, so it was on already.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Actually, Windows 11 comes with the virtual machine on, but I don't know why. Like, it happened to me like this. So once you have the virtual machine on, install the MSI package. Once that is done, it will quickly run you through, like, for the installing of, updating the kernel component. After that, it will only ask you for the restart. You have to restart at that time. Once restarted, you can go back to your PowerShell, run in administrator mode, and then click WSL install D Ubuntu. Or if you want, I'll try out a different distro. Let me try out Debian.
If anybody else is trying out and have any questions, please share your questions so we can try to debug your issues right away.
Yeah, so you saw this, right? Like, it's installing on its own. It'll take some time. And once that is done, it'll ask you for a new username.
What happened to the Ubuntu distro that you installed before the virtual machine was on?
Okay, before the virtual machine was on, it got installed, but it was showing an error that, some component had to be updated. Only then I got to my mind that my virtual machine is off and there is no MSI package.
So this distro, so both the distros coexist now on your system?
Yes,
Okay.
you can see here.
Okay.
Ubuntu also exists as well as Debian exists.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like, I'm good to go with my Debian is set up. That's all.
Okay, amazing. So now if you close this instance,
Okay.
how can you open your WSL?
Okay. Should I open my Debian now?
Yeah. Is it okay? How do?
I just search Debian. It's available. So see.
Okay, cool. It doesn't ask for the admin login again, right?
It asks every single day. Like, after the next day, it asks you again.
Oh, okay. So it's like a day cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Shreyas, you mentioned you already have VS Code, no?
Yeah, I have VS Code already.
Okay. So I'm going to share a link to VS Code installation. You can use any editor of your choice, to be honest. But most of the time in the videos that I have shot for the Solidity Bootcamp, you will see me using VS Code. So that's why I recommend everyone to use VS Code. It is also one of the fairly simpler sort of IDEs and comes built in with a lot of extensions. Not just for Solidity, it also has a lot of really cool extensions for other programming languages as well, which you will eventually may end up learning in your journey. So,
And
yeah, sorry, Shreyas.
small thing. So I have like both the subsystems, right? So in Debian, I already set up my profile with a Unix username. But if I go to Ubuntu, I have to again set up my profile.
Oh,
Did you understand?
yeah. I mean, because both are separate virtual machines.
Yeah. I just wanted to let everyone.
Yeah. Please note this: if you are having two distros, which we don't recommend, install any one and just continue with that. But if you're having two, then both of these are like separate machines that you're running on your system. So each of them will require their own username, password, etc.
Yeah, and if you have to uninstall any of them, just go to settings, apps, installed apps, and you'll find here your Ubuntu and Debian, both of them. Ubuntu, and I just uninstall it. That's all. Now, see, I don't have it anymore. Debian works.
Okay, awesome. So I think like WSL setup concluded, right?
Yeah. So for anyone like you guys want to teach someone else, just make sure they have the virtual platform on, and do make sure that they have the MSI installed.
Okay, virtual platform and MSI. Okay, both.
Yeah.
Make a note. And there is a way to now open up this WSL using your VS Code, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you just show that? What is the command for that? Like basically, if you have your code, your repository that you have opened on VS Code, you can open the same repository in your WSL so that you can directly start working on the Linux terminal. I know it's possible, but I don't know if you need to migrate the repository there or how does that work?
Oh wait, I'll just try to do it.
I'm also going to see if there is a tutorial for this.
Okay, what command would you want me to run?
So just like open this repository in WSL.
Oh, all right.
So basically like, you know, like being able to deal with this repository on Linux.
Got it. I don't know like how to do that though, but
Yeah, so there is um,
oh yeah, sorry, I had Debian, right? My bad. Yeah, it's open now.
so do you have access to this repository on your Debian now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Can you show PWD?
Just a second. No, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is like
I'll look into this.
this is something that so basically the idea is that you can, instead of tinkering with the repository, you can download the Git repository on your Windows, but you can directly work with the repository in your WSL, which is what we want. Like
Yeah,
we
I know.
download on your local, but actually be able to play with it on your this one. There is a tutorial here. I don't really know if this is something that would be useful. If you're following blah, 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 you need to install VS Code and WSL extension. Yeah. So within VS Code, you can install this extension.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, I have it. I have it.
that's that thing. So this is also something I recommend everyone to install, that within, so you see those four triangles out of, sorry, four rectangles, four squares, out of which one square is coming out. That's the extensions. Once you go to the extensions, you can type WSL. I don't know if there's a separate one for WSL2, but I'm assuming it's the same. So if you have this installed, then it says open WSL either by launching the Windows terminal and creating a new WSL tab, or by launching the Linux distro that you installed. You can also switch into Linux directly from command prompt or PowerShell by entering WSL in the terminal. So I think it's, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it came. It came.
Okay. So if you just type, so okay, so the main thing for you is to reach here. Like everybody who's going to be using this setup, the main thing for you is to reach here. So you can open anything in VS Code, right? And then immediately go, you do WSL and go to your WSL system. I mean your Debian or Ubuntu or whatever, and go and explore this repo. Now every command that we saw, like pwd, cd, everything will work over here. You may have to do set up your Debian or Ubuntu with the required things. Like you may want to set up I don't know, you may want to set up like Node, you may want to set up some basic things that you are likely to use. But once you are here, then your path is fairly simple. Like if it is like Ubuntu, then you can do like apt get install and all those things, or you know, whatever distro that you have installed, just find the corresponding commands for that and you should be good. But ideally this is where we want you to reach, so you can sort of I think ls and everything should work, right? ls, yeah, ls works. You can create a directory, mkdir. uh, I think everything Linux will, yeah, name of the directory something random like ABC or something. Yeah. Yeah. So you can do ls and c like this exists. Yeah. So you can cd into this. So anything now Linux, Mac OS will work on this, but you will have to make some basic installations here, like install node and all those things, whichever
Yeah,
you
yeah, we have to install all those.
yeah. So you'll have to install that in your new system. But yeah, like this is, in my opinion, the best way if you are really planning to be like a programmer and you want to program and even debug, right? Like write secure code and debug like pieces of code, execute new things. Like this is just a solidity boot camp, but we are going to have more complex things. We are going to have Rust sessions. We'll have like move lang next year. We'll have more things on Starkware, Starknet, like Cairo lang. So we'll be exploring zk proofs. We'll explore snarks. We'll explore starks. So all of those are going to have more heavy packages where you want to lean on Linux and or Mac OS terminal based systems. So that's the idea for this session to kind of set up. Vikas also has a tip that to make the terminal more interactive after this, you can see oh my ZSH. I'm going to note this down and add this to the notes as well.
Try, try it out right here. Like, is it a command?
I don't know. Vikas, is this a command? Oh my ZSH?
No, it's a package. So what it does is it simplifies your like the entire command line. It gives you suggestions. It makes your terminal interactive.
Oh,
Okay.
seems like it's a Windows.
Is it a is it a sudo app?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
sudo app. Also, you can download it as a package, and
okay.
mostly it's generally for the terminal in Linux.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I've sent a
Yeah,
link.
I'll install that.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. I think that's pretty much it for today's session. Does anyone have any questions? I have a lot of people who have joined this session, but I'm not yet sure. Like, if you just want to unmute and talk about, like, are you comfortable with this? Are there any questions? Is this enough information for you to set up your system? Yes, Kamakshi will be sharing the recording. Okay, so I'm just gonna, how to know virtualization is already present or not. I think you just have to go to that.
Yeah, so what you have to do is just go to Windows features. Just type
Okay.
Windows features on your start. You'll get this option called turn Windows features on or off. And when you press that, you'll get this small sophisticated dialog box. Just go down and you'll see the something called Windows Virtual Platform. And enable that if it is if it doesn't have a tick.
Okay, Balaji, hope your question is answered. Yeah, Saurabh, you had a question?
Yeah, so I have already ticked off this, like it is already virtual machine platform was already ticked on. But when I in the VS Code terminal, when I like printed this command or WSL, it's showing me that ensure virtualization is enabled in the BIOS. Please enable the virtual machine platform Windows feature, which I've already done. So
Yeah, you're using 11 or 10?
11.
Okay, then
Maybe you want to restart if that is.
yeah, did you restart one?
No, I didn't. It was already okay. Probably reload is required, right? Refresh.
Maybe, yeah.
No,
Maybe.
after the MSI installation, did you restart?
No, I didn't restart.
Like you have to like install the MSI, then restart once. It'll work.
Because in my, as I told you, it is already enabled WSL. So
Got it.
and also one more thing I had is I have, just for because I'm getting into development, so I had also partitioned my Linux for one in my laptop. So I have both Linux as well as Windows. So that shouldn't affect in future because I'm more comfortable with Windows.
Got it.
So
No,
that
see,
should.
this won't affect. Like it's just that you have the you can use the terminal on your Windows. That's all. Rest your Windows is the same.
Okay, so because the Linux partition which is there, they won't affect it. Right?
No.
No, no, no.
I mean, yeah,
Partition-
you can directly use the Linux partition, then
Yeah.
it would be easier.
If you have
Because
Linux
I
partition,
want to get it.
directly.
Yeah, I want to get started on that. So is this the good? Like, is it recommended?
So since like even I asked her that if Linux is fine. So yeah, she was like, yes, Linux is fine. And if you have any problem with Linux, you can directly contact me. I've been using it for a while now.
Yeah, because I'd like to get that. If you can just share your detail on the chat.
Yeah. Linux is most preferable, like Mac OS, Linux, any of these Linux based OSs are Unix based OSs are most preferable. But yeah, this session is for those who are leaning on Windows, but don't have Linux based OSs. So that's the reason. So yeah. Okay. Um, okay, I'm just going to quickly I think on everyone just to check if all of you all have what are your configurations. Like we have Akash, Apsi, Adelaide, Aditi. What is your do you have everything configured? What is your feel for the session?